Okay, we're getting ready to go for a ride. Same day. It's been raining off and on, probably for the past couple hours. I need to go get a light bulb for my oven. I can't see anything and I'm baking. So, I thought it'd be a good chance. I tried to tell you in the first video about how these people get it kind of crazy down here when it rains, what the water is. See, we don't have a gutter systems down here. We have runoff systems where the sides of the streets and intersections are sloped so the water will run off like a stream, and then they have it all gradually works its way to one side of town where it just runs off. Now we have a few spots where there are collections. Now you see this street right next to my house is just actually a literal running man-made river, really. Now I'm going to go down near one of the parks where they have a runoff pond, and I have seen that thing. If we can drive across, we'll drive across, but there's a see, like an athletic field on one side of the road, and then on the other is the runoff pond. Now the crazy thing about this is they stock this runoff pond with trout every year, and it's got fish in it, and you got people that go down there and fish every stinking day. But you know, I'll be damned if I'm gonna go catch a bunch of fish that are swimming around in yard and street runoff. It's just kind of crazy because of all the pesticides, the antifreezes, the oils. I mean, I wouldn't want to eat those fish. So, but there's a lot of people do. There was one guy. Whoops, sorry. I hit the brakes too hard again. But it was kind of funny. Last year, we had a guy. This guy, I laugh every time I think about it. This guy went fishing every day. And he would put the fish in his freezer, and according to the law down here, you're only allowed so many fish per day. And he was obviously overfishing. And they found him with like 5,000 fish in his freezer. And he got fined about $1 a fish. So, but you know, wow. This is going to be interesting, because I think what we're going to see down here is going to be pretty interesting. This street here gets a lot of runoff, so you usually try to drive in the left hand or the middle lane. I don't know if you can see it, but it's got a small river running down on the right hand side. You get a lot of people, whoa! You get a lot of people down here that seem to think since they're in a pickup truck or they're in a four-wheel drive that they can go as fast as they want. Alright, we're going to take a left right here and drive down between the runoff pond and the athletic field. Now I have seen, oh cool, we got a green. I have seen this, I don't know, you can't really call it a causeway, but it's a dividing road between the pond and the, you see how high that pond is. I've seen this road right about here where that chain link or that street light is. I have seen this under 2 foot of water, and then this whole athletic field was flooded out. And right now, if we get a real hard rain throughout the night, it'll probably happen again. Now we're going to go up here and hit 14th Street, and then we're going to go down that because there's another runoff pond down 14th Street that always floods out because it's got a pretty steep runoff to it, and above it there are, oh gosh, I don't know how many square blocks of streets that are funneled towards this pond. And it's they usually, whenever it rains good, they end up closing it off, and then they end up getting a bunch of big industrial diesel pumps out, and they start pumping the water into one or two of the very few storm drains that we have in this city. The only time you're going to find a storm drain in this city is on a very major thoroughfare, and it has to be a very high traffic area with a lot of commercial interests on it. Otherwise, you are just stuck with the average runoff system. And it's, you know, they figure, why should we spend the money on all the guttering and the drainage system if it only rains here every now and then? So most of the streets are flooded here. They're nothing real major. It's nothing out of the ordinary. It's just that, let me turn this. You can see I'm just driving about maybe 10 miles an hour. This whole lane is just flooded. And you can see the vehicles in front of me. They're kicking up rooster tails just as bad as I am. And it's still raining. Man. Our new school's fields are flooded out completely. Oh gosh, Halloween lights. Now, you can see what I mean by runoff. They're designed to run off because whenever we hit a side street to this street, you can see where the water is just running out into this to join the flow on this street. Now you see the flashing lights ahead? That means they have 14th Street shut down up here by the runoff pond. That means it's probably flooding over already. They'll divert us up there, I'm sure. We'll get as close as we can and see how bad it is. If we can, we'll go up on the high side of it, and maybe we can pan it and see what it looks like. This is probably, I don't know if I said before, this is the wettest year we've had. I'm just going to turn off here anyway, because here's the pond. It looks like they're trying to set something up. And yeah, it looks like the pond is about ready to crest. Here, I'll just turn around in this turnaround. And, oh, whoops. Pay attention, John. You can kind of see what I'm talking about right over there where the fencing is. Maybe I can zoom in on it. Well, I guess it looks like I don't have a zoom on the video of this camera. It's an older camera. But over there where the flashing lights are, just to the right of the top of the red garbage can, that's where they have incoming water. And what's going to happen is this, as you can see, this pond is pretty close to overflowing. And I have seen where that truck is under a foot of water. So down here the problem is the ground is so hard that when we get any kind of rain other than a slow, steady drizzle, it wants to, well, it has to, it just runs off. It doesn't soak into the ground. A couple weeks ago I tried digging, well, I did dig a couple holes to plant some bushes for my dad. And I got them dug, but it was fairly difficult because the top 6 to 8 inches were about as hard as a brick. Gosh darn it. I am going to have to figure something out about this. Maybe some lead weights or something. But anyway, I didn't find any moisture in the soil until I got down 6-8 inches. And that was after one of the wettest springs we've ever had in the past 6 years. So, you know, that just tells you it runs off. Plus, you know, down here we got such a dry air that moisture is sucked out of everything so quickly. It's kind of ridiculous. I've never been in an area, well, during the summer our average relative humidity during the day is about 15. Well, the storm's not quite over yet. I'm going to hang a right, and we're going to go down to 7th Street, and then we're going to come back up Main on our way to Lowe's so I can get that light bulb. I just want you to see a couple of the main runoffs we have in this town. I mean, they're serious runoffs. I should actually take you all, yeah, we are going down that way. Take you down and show you that intersection I showed you this morning where they plan on totally tearing it up and redoing it. That should have a fair amount of water in it. Now I will give the city credit that when it does stop raining, the runoff does disappear fairly quick. Now if it ever gets backed up down there where at the edge of town where the main drainage from the whole city is, I mean, I think it drains into an, and I'm not sure I'm pronouncing this right, an Ario or whatever. We got one road here in town that goes down through one of the main drainage channels they have cut around town, and I have seen that under 5 foot of water. So needless to say, they got a sign there saying don't drive into the water, and usually the police will go over there and block it off. Now look, you can see this. So this intersection is, like I said, on the schedule to get revamped. Doesn't drain very well. I think one year they had to come down here and drill holes through the pavement. Oh gosh. Always makes me worry about stalling the motor out, sucking water up into the engine or whatever. But anyway, one year they had to come down here. Now here's one of the runoffs. It's down a little bit. You got to be careful driving down these roads if you got your windows cracked open or open after a rainstorm, because you got idiots that'll drive down through here and hit these things at 30-40 mile an hour, and kind of like that. Next thing you know, you got 10 gallons of water in your car. There are some people down now, another runoff. See, most of the runoffs run north-south, but you do have a lot of the side streets where they had no choice but to make them east-west. A lot of people in this town like to drive fast. There's a lot of young military guys that got their little sports cars. It's kind of funny. Every now and then they'll hit some of these curbs in the streets in town and then slide over and bump one of the curbs and they can't figure out why they flipped their vehicle over. Now here's another main intersection. This is on the back side of the courthouse. In fact, that building to the left is the county courthouse, county seat. And this is one of the main runoffs here. This one runs north-south, but it doesn't really drain that good until it gets so deep. Now we got a couple, I'm going to take a left here and head north up Main Street. You'll see a couple of the main drains or main runoffs we got over here. When you're coming down this street, you got to be careful because they're such a dip that you gotta really slow down. Otherwise, you bottom out your vehicle. Now, I don't know why we're losing focus here. Ah, gee. Whoa, that was a deep one. I think it's focusing on the damn wipers now. I don't know if it's been doing that the whole time or not. I hope not. See, now, here's the third one. Oh, let me play with this. I'm not sure if we're having a problem because of the windshield or what. Let me try moving it back a little. Focusing on the dashboard, I think. Could be the headlights too. Alright, we're gonna cut over, and I guess I did an illegal, well, we'll just go this way. And we will head up to Lowe's. Usually I'm not a real big talker. Seems like the only time I can really talk is when I'm by myself in a vehicle using a camera like this. Whoa, buddy. I'm usually pretty quiet, tack turn guy. I don't know, I just don't socialize much. And I thought this YouTube stuff was pretty neat, and I thought I'd give it a try. We'll see what happens. One thing in this town I've noticed is because it's a military town, you got a lot of furniture and electronics rentals companies. Plus, I have never seen so many payday and title loans offices or companies in one place. Seems like every couple blocks there's a title or a payday loan company. And I just don't agree with those. I think they're predatory. They take advantage of people that are in dire needs because the people are desperate for the money, so they go and get the loans and everything. But the problem is they pay outrageous interest rates on them. So, this is Prince Street. Runs north-south through town. It's main drag. It, if you stay on it, take it north out of town, will take you all the way up to Tucumcari. You take it south, it'll take you down to Portales and eventually Roswell. Now I've lived down here over 5 years, and I have yet to get down to Roswell. I might be doing it soon because I got cervical stenosis, and there's a doctor down there that'll do it. Here in this town, there's not a doctor for that particular ailment. Doctors come to this town fresh out of medical school on contract, and as soon as their contract is up, if they make it that long, a lot of the times they'll leave before their contract is up, but as soon as their contract is up, man, they hightail it out of here. They'll go to Amarillo, Lubbock, or usually a lot of them go to Albuquerque because of the university up there. A lot of them will go down to Lubbock because there's a, Texas Tech University down there as well. Now, I like going down to Lubbock. It's a 2-hour drive, but it's a nice drive, and I like driving through the town. It's an easy town to get around, and it is very culturally diverse. Because of the now, I'm not sure if there's any military around there, but I do know there's, with the university, they get a lot of international students. So it's culturally diverse. Pakistani, Indian, Chinese, a lot of European. It's amazing when you want to go down there and go grocery shopping. You can find about any kind of food you want. Now we're coming up into the North Prince area, where the town is building out on the economic or commercial end. This is where most of the new restaurants and bigger box stores are coming out. You don't usually have a problem with the water up on this end, because they had more time to plan it better and make things a little wider. Now I'm gonna run into Lowe's. We're only about half a block from Lowe's, so as soon as we get in there, I'm gonna shut you down and go in and get my bulb. Gotta see what I'm baking. Tonight I had to grab a flashlight just to see if my casserole was done. One thing I noticed down here is when it rains, now I know they're saving money on the lights, but it always seems so dark when it rains down here. Yes, I am handicapped. Ooh, good lightning shot. Alright, I'm going to shut you down now, and we'll pick her up here in a little bit.